Hi, it's Kelly here from spiritualawakeningsigns.com, and today we have a very special masterclass. It's all about how to boost your manifesting power using the powerful lunar energy. So that's the energy of the new moon for rapid change. And I really mean the new moon energies can shift things rapidly. It's very, very powerful energy. Now we're going to be covering quite a few different things in this masterclass. We're going to cover my journey from what I call new moon blues to lunar lightworker. And we'll explain all of what that is just in a moment. 3 signs that you yourself are new moon sensitive. It's very common, especially if you're going through spiritual awakening, so we'll check that out. How to succeed in your goals and manifest your dreams using new moon energy. So that's something you can use every time there's a new moon. It's very, very powerful to make a shift in your life. And 4 steps to harnessing the powerful lunar energies of the new moon to become a lunar light worker. So we're going to cover all of that. Now before we get started, the one thing that I want you to know is that the new moon energy really is a perfect time for a life review, a fresh start, goal setting, and even manifesting your dreams, your desires, the things that you really want. But you can only harness this high vibrational lunar energy a few days before and a few days after the new moon as an event. You can only really use it around that short window of time. If you can draw that powerful energy into your space, if you can align with it throughout that short window of time, you'll experience a fresh spiritual restart. It's great for a fresh start. You're going to experience positive change for sure, and you'll have rapid manifestation. So it's a great time to decide what it is that you want in your life and use the new moon energy while it's available to you. It's very, very capable of bringing these things into our lives in a very fast way, so you can do that. So first thing, let's share a little story. I want to explain to you how the new moon affected me, and I'm sure that you'll be able to resonate with a lot of this. The worst time was probably a number of years ago. It was maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, and I remember it was an autumn day, and usually it's the type of day in Scotland that I would really enjoy. You would watch the leaves falling from the trees, I would sit with a cup of tea, and I love to write, so I would just spend most of the day with my notepad writing. But for some reason on this particular day, I just couldn't settle. I don't know, I didn't know at the time what it was. I just couldn't relax, I couldn't settle, and I just felt off. I felt like something was wrong. I just had this terrible feeling like something was wrong, and I had anxiety churning in my stomach, and it made me feel quite stressed. It made me feel like I said, something just wasn't right. And even simple things like the light seemed too bright and annoying. Every sound was amplified, and it felt really overwhelming to deal with. I was absolutely exhausted, and more than anything, I just really just wanted to be left alone. I just felt like I just need to be by myself. This is just too much. And on top of all that, I was really grumpy. I felt really, really grumpy, but there was no reason to be. There was nothing wrong, nothing was happening. It was really, really odd and out of character for me. Well, unfortunately, I spent years feeling that way, until I finally made the connection, until I finally realised what it was that was causing the problem. It was the new moon energy. It was the new moon. And what I realised was that every month for a day or two before and a day or two after the new moon, I would be absolutely miserable. What I didn't realise at the time was that my system couldn't handle those high vibrational energies of the new moon. When a new moon happened, when this event happened, it was at such a high frequency and my system wasn't quite there yet. So this is what happens with us in spiritual awakening. I'm going to go into more of this shortly because it'll really help you if you're new moon sensitive, but my system just couldn't handle it yet, so it threw everything out of alignment for that short window of time when the new moon was there. And really what's happening when that happens is that this high frequency energy from the new moon starts to work with your own energies, and it begins this purging process. It's so high vibrational that it starts to purge dense negative energies, low vibrational energies from your system. And that was why I was feeling so awful, because all the darkness was being drawn to the surface to clear my soul, and that was happening every new moon. It happened through lots of different astrological events, but we'll cover those in another video. I will bet that you can relate in some way, and if it's not something that's immediately apparent, think back to when these things happened. Look up when the new moon was and think about yourself over the last few months and how it's affected you. It really can affect spiritually awakened souls like you and I. in a very, very sensitive way, because we can sense the energy. We know that something's off, even if we're not quite sure what it is. We know that something's different. We're picking up on the energy, something is shifting. Now today, the new moon's not an issue for me at all. In fact, it's become this wonderful time for me because I'm able to harness those powerful lunar energies and use them to succeed in my goals, to plan things that are coming up, to manifest my dreams, and to really clear the pathway for any new projects that I've got going on. So it's great here at Spiritual Awakening Signs. I use it for all the goals and the things that I'd like to achieve within my career and my spiritual work. It's fantastic. It really, really helps. It's really awesome, and I would like you to be able to do that too, because it really makes a huge difference in your life, to take you from that space where the new moon is a nightmare for you to a space where it's empowering. It's a space where it's like, I'm actually using these energies, they're not affecting me negatively, I'm using them to benefit my life, I'm using them to benefit my ascension progress. It's very, very powerful, and it's really exciting too. You don't need to let that new moon energy derail you every time. Don't be like me. I did it for years. It was miserable. Of course, I didn't quite know what was going on at first, but don't let that happen. You don't need to feel exhausted. You don't need to feel emotional. You don't even need to feel overwhelmed at the time of the new moon. Instead, you can use those lunar energies for what I said was rapid change. It's all about rapid change. It's all about positive change and manifestation, and really can create that transformation very, very quickly. It's the power is here. It's right now. There's new moon energy going on right now. Depending when you're watching this masterclass, even if it isn't, use it to prepare. It is available to you, so use it. Use it. I'll show you how in this masterclass. Don't worry, we're going to cover everything you need to know. But the first thing we really want to get into is finding out if you yourself are new moon sensitive. Now, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it because this is the one thing I want you to take away from this masterclass, is that the new moon energy is the perfect time for a life review, a fresh start, goal setting and manifesting your dreams and desires. It is a very potent energy that's available at that time. So now is the perfect time. We've got a new moon full of that seriously high frequency energy on December 4th. Like I said, if you're watching this and it's not aligning with those dates, that's okay. Just use the new moon energy, watch out for when it's coming up and prepare, okay? With only a few days left until this new moon, we want to prepare ourselves. It's really important to prepare ourselves. So you want to be using this anytime there's a new moon coming up. You want to start your process to utilise the energies. Now, like I said, for spiritually awakened souls like us, for anyone on that spiritual awakening pathway, new moon energy can be a pretty difficult time. It can be really challenging to work with, and if you find those lunar energies are disrupting your life in some way, then you probably are new moon sensitive. But let's talk about the 3 most common signs that would really confirm your new moon sensitivity, and all you need is one from the list to recognise this. So what happens to you during the new moon? A few days before, a few days after, it could even be longer than that. Some people are affected differently, but think about that time frame and have a listen to the next few signs. So sign number 1 would be exhaustion. The new moon energies are a very, very high vibration. They're often much higher in frequency than our systems can actually handle. So the problem is that we can't hold those energies for long. We can't sustain them for a very long time, and that means that quite soon we become completely exhausted, because the density and the density of the energy in our system is being purged to the surface. So all that negative energy is being purged to the surface, which is exhausting in itself, and our system is constantly trying to reground us, because it's almost like we start to kind of go way up and we lose our balance a little bit. The energy tries to reground you, and it's that kind of balancing act that just becomes really exhausting, because your energy and your soul is working all the time during the new moon. So you might not be aware of it, you might be working, you might be doing things with your family, you might be, living normal daily life, and you're like, I am exhausted, I feel really drained, I feel really tired, I feel really burnt out. That's why your energy and your soul is working in the background and you're not really that aware of it. So sign number 2 would be changes in your mood around the time of the new moon energy. Now the lunar energies cleanse our system, so like I said, they draw all that low, dense vibrational energy to the surface. So that means that any low vibrational negative emotion that exists within your soul or within your auric field is going to be drawn up to the surface. So you're going to feel emotional. So that could mean you get mood swings, it could mean you get unexpected feelings that just don't seem to sync up with what your daily life is, like anxiety, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's irritability. That's quite common too, because all these energies are being released from your system. They're really coming right up to the surface so that you can see exactly what they are, and you can start to release and clear them from your space. Sign number 3 is another really common one, feeling restless or overwhelmed during the time of the new moon energies. Now, you might find that your mind is particularly active at this time. It can be difficult to quiet racing thoughts as all these new realizations start to rise to the surface. The same as these negative emotions, realizations start shifting because you're healing, you're clearing, things are moving, and that can disturb your sleep patterns as well. Now, while it can be very overwhelming, it's ultimately a good thing. Believe it or not, it shows that your soul is reviewing life, that it is working out what no longer serves you and is seeking solutions and preparing to make those changes. That's why your brain just seems to keep moving all the time. It's looking for solutions. So it might feel overwhelming, but it's ultimately a good sign that your system's working with the energy and receiving benefit. Okay, we want to calm it down, which I'll help you with in a moment, but it is ultimately a good sign. So any one of those signs would indicate that you are new moon sensitive. What's the case for you? Do you feel that you resonate with any of those? I will bet if you're on the spiritual awakening pathway, or you're a spiritually minded person, you'll resonate with them because they happen to a lot of us. Okay, so let's talk now about becoming a lunar light worker. There are 4 steps to manifest with the new moon. Now, like I said, we've got a new moon coming up. You might be watching the masterclass at a different time. No matter what point it is, there will be a new moon coming up or just recently passed. So you want to get ready for the next new moon. With a new moon looming, it is the perfect time for a life review, like I said, to take stock of how things are going in your life, to choose where you want those higher vibrational energies to infuse your life with the power of positive change, because that's really what it's going to do. And at the time of the new moon, these astrological energies are really at their peak, so you must align with them in order to get the benefit, to get that rapid change, that supercharged manifestation. But without any coping strategy, like we've already talked about, those new moon energies can really derail us spiritually. Spiritually weakened souls like us, new moon energy tends to tip us over, and we get a bit imbalanced. And again, like I said, it causes new moon blues, the 3 signs that we talked about, and huge disruption in our lives. It can start to make things kind of fall apart a little bit until it passes. Don't let it throw you around like a rag doll. This is really where you need to decide in your spiritual growth and your spiritual awakening to take charge of the situation. If you don't, you'll be like me. Years will pass and you will just be derailed every single time that new moon energy comes up. This is really down to you. So you need to decide, do I want to keep going the way I'm going, or do we want to make a change? So I'm guessing that you want to make a change, so let's talk about it. So 4 steps to manifest with the new moon. We've created a 4-step process that you can use, and I advise you to follow along with this video right now and just do it right now. Even if it's not quite the new moon, although you can use this every time the new moon arrives, I would say just do it now, get it ready, prepare for the new moon, and then when the new moon comes, you'll know how to move forward, okay? So step 1 is to set a sacred space. So it's really important to honour the energies of the new moon appropriately. And I find that there's more positive energy ushered into our lives when we do that, when we kind of make a gesture, no matter how small it is, make a gesture to honour the moon, to honour those wonderful high vibrational energies. So simple steps like that could be maybe you decide to light a candle, you decide to burn some incense, you hold a crystal, or you have it nearby as you begin this process. But it's just about, no matter how small it is, it's just about saying, I'm doing this to honour the new moon energies. It's just something small. I personally like lighting a candle. That just feels to me like, for me personally, that just feels like in alignment. I'm lighting this candle to honour the new moon energies while it's burning. You don't need to say anything, you just hold that intention in your mind. Step 2 is to do a life review. Now this is the part that takes a little bit of time, but you want to get a nice calm space, you want to be in your sacred space with your candle or your incense or whatever gesture it is you're making to the new moon. Could be even having some spiritual music on or something like that. But you want to be in that space and you want to start reviewing the different areas of your life, and you want to take time to do that. So I suggest that you get a pen and paper and actually begin this process. You can always pause the video if you want. get a pen and paper, and you're going to take some time to consider each of the following areas of your life that I'm going to list, and you're going to rate them from 1 to 10. So what we really mean by that is 1 would be the most unfulfilling that area of your life could be, and 10 being the most fulfilling it could possibly be. So here are the following areas. You want to jot these down. So spiritual, okay, how's your life going spiritually? From 1 to 10. What number would you give that? Personal development and growth. Do you feel that you're moving forward? Do you feel that you're changing, growing, transforming? Give that a rating. Health and fitness. How is your health doing right now? Because this is really a holistic thing. You need to look at every single area of your life. What is your work and career like right now? How is that affecting you? Is it where you want it to be? Is there somewhere you'd like to get to? This is the time to note it all down. Finances. What's your money situation? Are you abundant? Do you feel supported? And relationships, so that's with friends, family, partners, co-workers, everyone. How is that going? So any of those areas, that was spiritual, personal development and growth, health and fitness, work and career, finances and relationships. You want to take some time to go through those. You're going to rate them from 1 to 10, and also you might jot down some things that you would like to change about it. So you don't really need to go into the negative, although people become afraid of ever acknowledging the negative. Positive is a million times more empowering than the negative, but that doesn't mean you can't acknowledge it. It's okay to say, I don't like this, this and this, so this is what I would want instead. But just make sure you're noting down where it is you want to be, what you would like to see different. How would it change your life to do so? And please, please, please don't limit the situation. Don't limit the options that you have by saying, but that could never happen, because just take all the barriers off. Imagine you have limitless potential in this, and just write what you would ultimately like. Okay, because these energies are powerful. Just go for it. Don't limit the choices that you make. Step 3 is to write down your intentions. So for each area of your life, you're going to write down, like I said, what would need to be in order for you to reach a 10. That's the most important thing. If this was a 10, what would the circumstances be? What would my life be like in that particular area? Like I said, don't think about it too long, because the soul speaks first and the mind speaks second. So you'll have an idea, and then your mind steps in and starts kind of writing over the top of it. Go with the first thought, always, and just write it down without censoring it, without thinking about it too heavily, and let those answers flow. Imagine there were no obstacles to reaching a 10. That's the way you need to think about this. So pin your intentions somewhere where you're going to see them every single day, and that'll help keep your energies focused and really keep any plans on track. If there are any physical steps that you can take, this is very important to reach these goals or improve these areas of life. Please take the steps. Now, don't wait for the universe to intervene. The universe really respects active participation, and quite often I find that when you take the first step towards something, the universe will then usher in energy in that area. It's like you're focused, you're taking a step towards it, and the universe fills in some extra energy there. So please take steps forward if you can. And step 4, align with the new moon energies, those high vibrational lunar frequencies, to cleanse your energy and promote rapid positive change in your life. If you want to align with any form of energy at all, you need to use energy. Okay, you can't access that level through any other form. It has to be you meet it on the same level it is, which is energy. Now, you could visit an experienced energy healer, or you could perform your own manifesting ceremony, but my personal recommendation in my own practice is to connect with the guides and allow them to attune my energy to the lunar frequencies. That way, when we tailor the energy levels to what's most appropriate and compatible for your specific energy system, everything just flows a little bit better. So we're really allowing the guides to do the work like an energy healer would if they were working one-to-one with you in an energy healing session. And I'll explain a little bit more about the guides towards the end, but this is the collection of high vibrational spirit guides that I work with. They go to work on your behalf anytime you listen to any of our meditations, and they really know how to adjust things perfectly for your energy. So if you're finding the new moon too intense, they're going to just reduce the intensity of that a little bit, so your system's a little bit more compatible with it. So it's going to actively reduce those new moon blues and symptoms. It's going to do that for now and in the future too. It makes a change in your energy that's permanent. And you won't get that with other methods, which is why I always tend to lean upon using the guides, because that's what they're there for, spiritual awakening. They're helping us to get there. So of course you can use lots of other methods, but I personally always lean on the guides for that sort of thing. So let's have a little recap of what we've learned so far. We've learned that the new moon energy is the perfect time for a life review, a fresh start, goal setting and manifesting your dreams and desires. We've also talked about the 3 signs that you could be new moon sensitive, which I'm sure that you are. Exhaustion, changes in your mood, feeling restless or overwhelmed. We talked about how to become a lunar light worker using our 4 steps to manifest with the moon. Set a sacred space, do a life review, write down those intentions and align with the moon's high vibrational lunar frequency, and remember to take those steps if you can. You can go and visit someone, get some help with that, or of course you can use some of our content, our products, where the guides are doing the work for you. Now the good news is, like I said, I was going to go into a little bit more of this. You don't need to go to energy healers if you don't want to. You don't need to train with expensive energy healing training. You don't need expensive repeated sessions. If you're ready to get started on manifesting with the new moon energies right now, then you can check out our brand new energy healing meditation. It's called the New Moon Manifestation, and that's exactly what it does. It's specifically created to harness the powerful lunar energies for a refreshing spiritual restart, rapid positive change, and of course the most important thing, the success of your goals. So really focusing on what it is that you want, and the guides will go to work on your behalf immediately. We can actually get started in about 10 minutes time. It's wonderfully quick. Now you won't find a healing product like this anywhere else, I'm confident of that. Our meditations are a really special blend of meditation and energy healing. So they also include activations as well. It's the equivalent of a specifically tailored energy healing session with me, because I work with these guides, this collection of high vibrational spirit guides who are dedicated to helping us on the awakening pathway. And when you listen to any of our meditations or any of our energy healings, you'll find that they tailor this to you. They begin working with you on your behalf, no matter when you watch. 2 weeks from now, 2 years from now, it doesn't matter. And they will adjust your energy. It's really like a spiritual awakening energy healing that they'll do for you. They'll adjust all the different levels of your energy, and you can use it again and again, these meditations, to heal more layers as time goes on, from the comfort of your own home and at your own pace. Now this meditation has a few key things that it's going to do. It's going to harness the powerful lunar energies of each and every new moon. You can use it anytime there's a new moon energy coming up. It's going to refresh your energetic resonance for a spiritual restart. It's going to create rapid positive change and shifts in your life. It's going to supercharge the success of your goals, and it's going to make you a manifesting magnet for your dreams and desires, to draw them into your life. You can take a little look below and see if it resonates with you. Thank you so much for watching.